Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Good evening. I'm your anchor. Tonight, we bring you a recap of global developments in the ongoing Iran crisis. President Trump's administration has been under pressure to address the escalating conflict. We'll explore how his oil export surge may hit a ceiling and what new developments are emerging from the Strait of Hormuz. Additionally, the Pentagon is considering punitive measures against NATO allies. Our focus will also be on statements from key figures like Elizabeth Warren and President Trump himself. Let's dive into tonight's top stories. As tensions escalate with Iran, President Trump's surprise shift to increasing U.S. oil exports faces mounting scrutiny over its economic and strategic implications. The U.S. oil export surge due to the Iran war has reached a critical juncture, with experts warning that infrastructure limitations are about to put a ceiling on further growth. As tensions between Iran and the West have escalated, the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway for global oil supply, is under increased threat. This has led to a significant increase in U.S. oil exports, with shipments from Gulf Coast ports and terminals reaching record highs. President Trump has been vocal about the benefits of this surge, citing it as a major driver of American economic growth and geopolitical influence. However, industry insiders are more cautious, pointing out that while increased exports can provide short-term gains, they also come with significant long-term costs. The Gulf Coast ports are already operating at or near capacity, said Tom Smith, an energy analyst at Morningstar. As demand for U.S. oil imports continues to rise, we're likely to see bottlenecks and delays in the system. The infrastructure limitations at play include the capacity of Gulf Coast terminals, which have been expanded in recent years but are still short of full capacity. Additionally, the increased burden on these facilities could lead to higher costs for consumers and reduced profitability for oil companies. With the U.S. economy now heavily reliant on oil exports, experts warn that a failure to address these infrastructure limitations could have significant consequences for American energy security and economic stability. As tensions continue to escalate in the region, reports are emerging that Iran has significantly increased its mine deployments in a key strategic waterway. According to sources, including a U.S. official and a source with knowledge of the issue, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, Navy has laid more mines in the Strait of Hormuz. This move is part of an escalating military standoff in the world's most important oil choke point. The latest development comes after reports of Iranian vessels attacking commercial ships in the region. The United States has been tightening its naval blockade on Iran, imposing economic sanctions and restricting its access to international shipping lanes. President Trump was briefed on the new developments and promptly ordered the U.S. Navy to take action. On Thursday, he tweeted a statement instructing the U.S. Navy to be prepared to respond to any Iranian aggression in the region. The situation has been escalating since 2019, when the U.S. withdrew from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, also known as the Iran nuclear deal. Since then, there have been several incidents involving Iranian vessels and commercial ships, including oil tankers and cargo ships. Iran's actions are seen as a response to the U.S. naval presence in the region and the economic sanctions imposed on the country. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical shipping route that transports nearly 20% of the world's oil supply. Any disruption to this route could have significant implications for global energy markets. As tensions continue to rise, the international community is closely watching the situation, with many calling for restraint and diplomacy to resolve the conflict peacefully. We're witnessing a shocking development in global politics as multiple sources confirm that NATO has initiated a process to suspend Spain from its ranks. The U.S. and its allies in NATO are locked in a bitter dispute over Spain's refusal to grant American forces access to its military bases or airspace in the Iran war. According to reports, the Pentagon is considering suspending Spain from the transatlantic alliance due to what it sees as a lack of support for U.S. operations in the region. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has dismissed these claims, stating that his government works through official documents and positions taken by the U.S. government, rather than via email. He reiterated Spain's position: absolute collaboration with allies, but always within the framework of international legality. This stance is consistent with Spain's refusal to grant U.S. forces access to its military bases or airspace, citing concerns over U.S.-Israeli actions in the Iran war as contravening international law. The reports have emerged amid ongoing frustrations from President Donald Trump, who has repeatedly expressed anger over what he perceives as a failure by some NATO members to back American actions in the Iran war and assist in policing the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway. The U.S. has been seeking to expand its military presence in the region, with tensions escalating following the U.S. drone strike that killed top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. The implications of this dispute are significant, not just for Spain and the U.S., but also for the broader transatlantic alliance. NATO's founding treaty lacks any mechanism for suspending or expelling member states, although nations can withdraw voluntarily with a year's notice. The organization itself has no direct role in the Iran war beyond defending its own territory. As tensions between the U.S. and its allies continue to rise, it remains to be seen how this dispute will play out. Following a tumultuous week in Middle Eastern politics, President Trump has now taken a stance on escalating tensions with Iran, sparking international concern. President Donald Trump has stated that he will not be rushed to end the war in Iran, pushing back on previous timelines set by himself and his advisors. This comes as tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue to escalate. In a meeting at the Oval Office on Thursday, Trump was questioned about the conflict, which began after a U.S. drone strike that killed top Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. The U.S. government cited Soleimani's actions as a threat to national security, while Iran claimed it was retaliating against the killing of one of its own. The 4 to 6 week timeline for ending the war had been previously set by Trump and his advisors, but now it appears that this plan is being scrapped. When asked about it, Trump stated that he will not be rushed into making a decision on ending the conflict. This development comes as concerns about the impact of the war on global oil markets have grown. Oil prices have risen in recent days following attacks on Saudi Aramco facilities in Yemen, where U.S. forces are involved. The situation is highly volatile, and any miscalculation could lead to further escalation. The Iran crisis has significant implications for regional stability and global security. As one of the world's leading military powers, the U.S. is seen as a key player in maintaining balance in the Middle East. Trump's decision-making on this issue will be closely watched by leaders around the world. We're shifting gears to a surprising rebuke from Senator Elizabeth Warren, who recently warned Republican colleagues about a rather uncharacteristic display of humility. The recent comments by Senator Elizabeth Warren regarding her Republican colleagues' behavior in relation to the Iran war are sparking significant debate in Washington, D.C. According to reports, Senator Warren told Stephen Colbert that Republican members of the Senate avoid making eye contact with her due to embarrassment over President Donald Trump's decision to engage in a military conflict with Iran. The conversation took place during Senator Warren's 19th appearance on The Late Show, where she was questioned about attitudes towards the conflict in Washington. President Trump had campaigned on not pursuing foreign wars, but despite this promise, the U.S. is now involved in a regime change war that lacks an exit strategy and clear objectives. Senator Warren stated that her Republican colleagues are avoiding eye contact with her because they know they cannot justify or explain the conflict. She also pointed out that the lack of clarity surrounding the war's purpose makes it impossible to determine what constitutes winning this war, making it even more challenging to exit the conflict. This development has significant implications for the ongoing peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. With Republican support crucial for a potential withdrawal from the conflict, their reluctance to engage in discussion is hindering progress. The situation highlights the deep-seated divisions within Congress over foreign policy decisions, particularly under President Trump's leadership. As tensions remain high in the region, it remains to be seen whether Senator Warren's comments will prompt a change in Republican behavior and ultimately lead to an end to the conflict. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for watching. To stay up to date on the latest global developments, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We'll keep you informed as these stories continue to unfold. From Washington to Tehran, we'll bring you the facts. Until next time, good night and goodbye.